Welcome. The restorative practice that we'll be doing is child's pose. Child's pose can be tricky because sometimes people's feet fall asleep if they're not propped up well enough due to the sequential folds at the hips and at the knees, and then the stretching of the front of the ankle. So it would be good to have a couple cushions or bolsters to place underneath your torso. It's good to have a blanket for underneath your shins, and then either an additional blanket or two, or a bolster for the space between your heels and your buttocks. And so once you have all of those props, let's start the setup. So you first place a blanket down on the floor to cushion your shins and your ankles. So if you take a blanket from the Tadasana shape and open it once, that should be sufficient. So place that down. And then gather the support that's going underneath your torso. So you might take a couple bolsters and stack them underneath you. If you only have one, but you have some yoga blocks, you might build a bridge, 2 blocks underneath the bolster, right? Bolster could also be interchanged with couch cushions or a substantial amount of folded blankets stacked one on top of another. The goal here is that when you lie down, your torso from hips through the spine and into your head is parallel to the floor. And so that is a significant amount of support underneath you. Now, once you have that stacked, you might roll another blanket up fairly thickly or take another bolster and place it in between your heels and your buttocks so that your hips have a little bit of support underneath them and it doesn't feel like all of your weight is being supported from the bolsters underneath your belly and your chest. And so go ahead and once you've tucked that blanket underneath your buttocks and you've lied forward, turn your head to one side and just kind of see how this feels. Some people feel better if there is a little bit more support underneath the chest. It feels like a slight ramp upwards, even though it's most likely still approximately parallel to the floor, but that for some people is more comfortable. For those who have a large chest, sometimes a little bit more support underneath the base of the rib cage and underneath the sternum so that the breast tissue has some space can be really helpful. Turning your head to one side is often more comfortable than having your head go straight down. If you're up high enough where your arms are not able to rest fully on the ground from the elbow to the fingertips, you may also want to grab a couple extra blankets to build the floor up to your forearms. So you can see how this posture can be quite prop heavy. However, it's an incredibly comforting, very relaxing position to be in once you understand how to prop your own body. The reason for that is because, unlike some of the other restorative postures where the belly is exposed, this has more of that fetal position style where the thighs and the belly are folded into one another, creating a sense of containment and self-protection. The other thing that can be really nice, which is not shown in this video, is if you have a sandbag that's between 5 and 10 pounds, or a bag of rice or lentils or other grain, you can place that on your sacrum for a little bit of encouragement to ground. So once you have your setup, take a few moments to breathe. Notice if there's areas that need more support or less support. And we'll be in this position for 10 full minutes. However, you'll hear a bell halfway through so that you know to change the direction of your head so that the neck gets equal amount of rotation from right to left. gently press down through your arms. Lift your head up just enough to turn it to the other side and relax back into child's pose. Slowly bring your attention back to your breath. Press the hands down into the floor to assist you coming up to sit. Either stay kneeling with your hips supported on the bolster or blanket in between your buttocks and your heels. Alternatively, you could swing your legs around in front and extend them, or sit in a cross-legged position, finding a position that you can end this particular practice in. Join the hands together in front of the chest, Anjali Mudra. Bow the face down towards the fingertips. Act of gratitude for taking time to rest. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be safe. Namaste.